Hello and welcome to Tuesday, August 19, 2014 for your daily astrology and tarot horoscope. Um, I'm not really seeing much in the chart today that isn't varied from yesterday. I mean, you got your moon in Gemini still. You're still experiencing a lot of this fire, water energy that's going on in the chart. So one of the most important things to remember is I always like to start out with the planet of the day, and the planet of Tuesday is Mars. And I've always been giving you the cliche things to do, how to align with that energy in a more doable way, but one of the more interesting ways you can align with planetary energy is to actually embody the colors of that planet in the clothes you wear. So Mars is a very yin energy. It's very outgoing, so wear red, wear bright colors. That's one great way to align with planetary energies. You know, just be more outgoing and show yourself more, and that aligns perfectly with the tarot card of the day. The Osho tarot card of the day is the 8 card of courage. It's a major arcana card. And I can't encourage you enough to go back and look at my weekly tarot horoscope for the week, because I like to look at things in a holistic way. I think that'll help you step back. I mean, it's the difference between tactics and strategy. You know, tactics are the day-to-day maneuvering. So just seeing that your card of the day is 8 of courage is a tactical thing. That it's something. It's going to be very important that you be yourself and remember to embody yourself today. That's a tactic, but the overall strategy is when you step back and look at the week and say, why am I doing what I'm doing? How does that help my overall plan of the week and the overall goals that I'm trying to achieve for the week? That's where the strategy comes in. To me, tactics are how you deal with like some of the stumbles or some of the instantaneous things that happen in a day, in the minutia, the minor details. But it's most important to also keep in mind why you're maneuvering through those things. You know, is your strategy to just go and get something done? Is your strategy very more conservative? Is your strategy to be very entertaining? Is your strategy to be reserved, but you're in the background making this important contribution to society? I don't know. I'm just throwing these out there. I think it could be better serve you when I do these videos on a daily basis to have you go back and check out that weekly tarot video so you can kind of get the holistic idea of what the week's all about. The one thing I can say about this week, if you didn't watch the video, is a tarot deck has 78 cards. So the major arcana is 22 cards of that, and those are the major spiritual themes. These are things that are the big changes, the big events that are happening. And when you pull a major arcana card, it's a little bit more impactful and pertinent to your long term and your true spiritual purpose than when you're pulling just like just a number, 6 of Wands, for example. So this week, I pulled 3 major arcana cards out of 7 days. That's nearly half the days are major arcana cards, nearly. And that's pretty significant given the fact that given the fact that there's 22 major arcana cards out of a 78 card deck, that's less than 1/3 of the cards are major arcana cards, and we're nearly half the week has them. So there's something big going on that we're building towards. It's definitely a sign of that. When I look at the chart, nothing major is going on that's different. I mean, we still have that Mercury opposite Neptune going on. The conjunction of Venus and Jupiter is now fading. As Venus is in 8 degrees of Leo and Jupiter is in 7 degrees of Leo, both fire signs. Venus is now getting away from Jupiter and moving on from that. So, what I'm feeling called is today being a Tuesday and being a Mars day. I'm really thinking of Aries and what's going on in there is the South Node is going to be conjunct Uranus. I mean, it's 20 degrees and applying to Uranus at 16 degrees of Aries. So to me, that's an example of the unsteady of the status quo, and that's really been the theme of the last few years. I mean, if you look at the the fact that Pluto, the planet of change and transformation, is in Capricorn right now, and has been for a few years. I mean, that's all about messing up the status quo, blowing up the status quos. You can see Wall Street changing. You can see all these things being exposed about it. Old business models are completely dying down. When you look at the music business, that's no longer ran the same way it was. When you look at all the entertainment industries, they're no longer ran the same way that they have. If you look at just society and the infrastructure as a whole of our government and how that's changing, I mean, just look at the idea for like same-sex marriage, those types of things. Those are changing at such a rapid, unbelievable pace, just compared to a few years ago. It's all that structure, all that government structure, and all those business structures that have been in place, those old school structures, are being greatly dismantled and changed. And I don't think the new generation is going to stand up for some of the inequalities and some of the things that were going on. I mean, that's quite obvious. That's kind of a cliche thing to say. I mean, things continually progress, but you can see these radical shifts as Pluto has gone into Capricorn, especially in our financial structures. And I see it most in the entertainment industry because I've been a musician and I've studied music, so it's very apparent to me. And I work for a movie studio. So aside from that, the other thing, so when you have the South Node almost conjuncting Uranus, that's the South Node is the old ways, what you're good at, your past lives, those types of things. And when Uranus is coming to that, it's really going to give some lightning bolts, some insight, some strikes, some major radical change, some fast shifting thing that's just going to keep pushing those old structures away and against the current. It's going to actually, I think it's going to be helpful in allowing for the new and the needed to come about. But I mean, this is also highlighted by the fact that Mars is getting very close to conjuncting Saturn in Scorpio, and this is yet another changing energy that is very uncomfortable and hard to deal with, because Saturn is a very dark and deep and penetrating energy, and when you have Mars, which naturally rules Scorpio, but when you have it in there about to conjunct Saturn, it's like we're really dealing with these deep, dark things, and we're taking action in them, and we're being structured with it, and we're getting this stuff out in some way. We're working this stuff out in some deep, deep societal way. I mean, a daily astrology tarot horoscope isn't pertinent to you directly necessarily, but if you have any planets in Scorpio, you're feeling this energy. If you have any planets in the opposite sign of Taurus, you're feeling this energy. And especially if it's in the degrees, of that 13 to 17 degree mark, you're experiencing these things. So it's always good to look at your chart and see how this plugs in for you. The biggest thing that I can say is, yes, this is that fire-water energy, and I love the I Ching, the Revolution hexagram. I believe it's 46, and that's the lake over fire hexagram, talking about the revolution and change. So how I'm feeling about this day on Tuesday is just to remember to be yourself, to embody yourself. This is the let the U flag fly. A lot of people call it the free flag. I call it the U flag, because we all have things that we keep in the closet, things we're not so forward about, things we're not always sharing. You need to remember to shine even if you're not in the right environment. This wildflower is growing on a rock. Preferably a flower would grow in a beautiful garden, and juxtaposed between other beautiful ferns and other beautiful flowers to show itself in such a luxurious way. But no, this flower is on a rock. It's in this wrong environment, and it still has the courage to grow and shine and express itself no matter where it's at. It doesn't have to be, and it's still beautiful. It's still doing it in an embraceful way, in a flowering, flowing way. So that's something to remember for your Tuesday, is to be yourself, to remember what you are and how your environment serves you, and how you are you are your environment, but just because you're of it doesn't mean you are it. That's the best way I could describe it. Palm trees don't grow in Denver is another way I describe it, because I'm from Denver. But I mean, the last thing I want to say is we're still just dealing with this fire water energy, and to me, I see it as there's, for anybody watching this video, if you're synchronistically looking at this video and listening to the messages, you're needing to hear the message that there's something inside that you want to be accomplishing. There's something inside bigger that you want to be doing, and you're not easily able to share that with people around you. And now is the time in this fire water energy to be working toward aligning yourself with that purpose as much as you can behind the scenes, as much as you can on your time off, and in whatever ways you can, in order to position yourself when stuff starts to stable out, that you can actually strike out and accomplish this dream that you're working toward, this more epic thing, this thing that's bigger than you, this bigger project. You'll know what it is intuitively as you're listening to me talk about it. So, it's not a time to just strike out and leave. We're being tested in so many different ways. We're being pulled in so many different directions right now. I think it is a time to stay in the background and to keep, like Rocky, doing his crazy montage. He's still working. He's still working. He's still working. He's gearing up for that final epic battle, and I don't think we're to that epic battle yet. I'm not quite sure what that tipping point's going to be, but we're still just dealing with this very confusing fire water energy. If you look at the chart, you have the moon in an air sign. If you look at every single planet in the chart, the moon is in an air sign of Gemini right now, for Tuesday, August 19, 2014. And you have two planets in Earth. You have Mercury in Virgo at 7 degrees Virgo. You have a trine, I guess, and almost a trine from Mercury to Pluto, and Pluto's in 11 degrees of Capricorn. So that's it. Everything else is in fire, and everything else is in water. And I don't count the north and south nodes as planets, but they're in air. But the north node is in air and the south node is in fire. So it's still just exclamation points for this fire water energy. Yeah, other than that, I would just say for your Tuesday, just remember to be yourself. Remember to embody yourself. It takes courage to be yourself. I don't think you have to fight for it so much as I think this card represents just being it despite the environment that you're in. So I hope this was helpful. My name is Nicholas, and have a great Tuesday. Thank you.